What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to initiate coverage on Snapchat stock. Ticker symbol SNAP. They trade off the New York Stock Exchange, and their current price is $7.25. Alright guys, so I think the story of Snapchat really starts and ends right here with the chart, okay? So if you go back to February of 2017 when they IPO'd, Snapchat got up to a high of $27 really fast, okay? Actually, I think they got to their all-time high was about $29, and they held that for a couple of days where they stayed in the 20s. Did not last very long, and since then, guys, it has been a downhill train wreck ever since, okay? They have not held their levels very well at all. You know, like I said, they've been on the market less than 2 years, and they have lost roughly 70% of their stock value, okay? And unfortunately, I know a lot of traders that were, their interest was very high for that brief time where Snapchat stock was, you know, high. I made a video the other night about how to invest in IPOs, guys, and this is a prime reason why you do not invest in IPOs, is because a lot of times this is exactly what happens right here. A stock will hit really good for a couple of days, and then it spends, you know, like a year and a half in complete reversal mode, you know, trying to recover those gains it lost and never doing it, okay? So just this is a $27 to $28 per share stock a year and a half ago, and it's now valued at $7, okay? Let's take a more fundamental approach to Snapchat and kind of see just what exactly is going on here. So real quick, guys, I do want to draw attention to something really quick, is their earnings date, okay? So they have an anticipated earnings date between November 5th and November 9th, okay? So I think that is very important. Obviously, it should have a lot of impact on the stock price, but I will be plugged in and watching Snapchat stock when they report during that time. Now, guys, I can remember not very long ago, very short time ago, pulling up this exact same chart, and Snapchat was close to a $30 billion company, okay? And now they're a $9 billion market cap, okay? So, you know, 70% of the value of the stock has fell off, which would almost, in theory, tell you that Snapchat would be a good buy right now, because you're supposed to buy into fear, okay? You're supposed to buy into a stock, you know, when all investor confidence has been lost in it, and it's, you know, lost 70% of its value. It's probably at a very investable level right now. However, I first want to make you aware of the fundamental disaster this thing is, okay? So, obviously on a 52-week scale, it's lost close to 50% of its value. And right down here, guys, it starts getting really bad. Okay, so they operate with a negative 155% profit margin. I am hard pressed to even find a company that is that inefficient. Okay, honestly, and this is a huge social media company, and they operate that inefficiently. They have a negative 155% operating margin, okay? So that's funny, because I look at all these little penny stocks and some of these cheaper stocks that we've been covering lately, and I am hard-pressed to find any of those penny stocks that run as inefficiently as Snapchat, okay? They have a 28%, negative 28% return on assets, and a negative 50% on the return of equity. So just very bad, okay? Nothing positive there at all. The short percent of float is not available right now, but the short percent of shares outstanding as of September 13th was still about 10%. So right here, I have the chart pulled back up. That was September 13th, and the stock was $9 then. Okay, so 10% of the short sellers have gotten a nice gain now that it's down to $7. Okay, rounding out the statistics here, guys. So they have a 44% quarterly revenue growth, but their quarterly earnings growth does not show up because they are very, very unprofitable. Okay, the only real positive on the Snapchat balance sheet, guys, is the $1.57 billion of cash, and compared to the $16.4 million of total debt. That is actually the one little gold nugget of this analysis, is that that could be viewed as a very positive thing. But at a negative $801 million operating cash flow and a negative $335.26 million levered free cash flow, this thing has disaster wrote all over it. Okay, so there is a some positive news out there right now about Snapchat, guys. So right here, guys, Snap jumps on visual shopping deal with Amazon. Okay, so this was on the 24th of September, but it jumped up to a session high was 1% on word that it's partnering with Amazon.com to allow shopping directly from Snapchat. So that is and can be very, very exciting, and could help Snap reverse some of the financial disaster they have themselves in. But it says users will be able to use visual search by pointing the app's camera at an item and quickly locating it and buying it from Amazon without leaving the Snapchat app. Okay. Then it goes on to mention down here that Snap says it's rolling the feature out slowly to all users. Now, this is a good place to kind of stop and discuss my personal usage of Snapchat, and maybe this would be something good for everybody to go down in the comments section and we can talk about. But, however, of all the social media websites out there with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all the different social media groups out there, I by far use Snapchat the least. As a matter of fact, before I started this video, I got on my phone and looked, and I don't even have the Snapchat app on my phone anymore. Okay, I don't find a lot of use for it, and I also maybe that's just because I'm, you know, a little bit older and I have children of my own. It doesn't really appeal to me where it appeals to the more younger demographic, teenagers and younger people. But I just find it extremely limited with what you can do with it. Okay, I don't like everything you can do on Snapchat, you can do somewhere else. You know, for example, what irritates me is if I send somebody a message on Snapchat and I send it to them, and I come back later to the thing, I can't keep up with our conversation because it erases everything. Okay, and that irritates me, because when I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody, I'm losing track of what we're talking about. I have, you know, but I do know it is a, you know, wildly popular app that a lot of people use. But like I said, I personally don't use it very much. Most of the people that I hang out with and talk to on a daily basis also do not use Snapchat very much. I also know it's kind of a fad for some younger people. So I've noticed that too with like teenagers and, you know, like the 20 and under demographic too, is that they might use Snapchat a lot for a period of time and then they stop using it and tend to move on to something else. Okay, where Instagram and Snapchat is really, really, like I said, extremely hot to the younger, you know, like I said, millennials and younger people. I also know it's very faddy. It's very much a fad. It's like a quick use tool. Maybe they have interest in for a couple weeks or a couple months, then they stop using it, and almost, you know, its value is easily replaced with a different social media website very easily. Okay, and this, guys, right here, this is the most current upgrades, or I'm sorry, downgrades that Snapchat has got. This was published on October 4th, but it says Snapchat is minus 3.7% as Evercore and Citigroup trimmed their price targets. Okay, so we'll go down here, guys, and look. But Evercore trimmed its price target from $7 to $9. Okay, noting Instagram is irreversibly reducing Snap's ability to deliver on long-term expectations, and I tend to agree with that. Okay, I think that in my personal opinion, Snapchat just does not have a lot to offer me as a platform. Okay, and even most of the stuff you do on Snapchat can easily be replaced with a different social media website, or just like iMessaging, or texting, peer-to-peer texting. Like I said, most of the functionality of Snapchat is very easily replaced somewhere else. Okay, it says here that Citi's Mark May cut his price target to $7 from $8. Okay, so the stock are trading at a premium, even though consensus revenue forecast look too high, and an expected capital raise over the next couple of years. Okay, so that implies a 15% downside, and these analysts have already called it correctly, because Snapchat is trading at the $7 level and it continues to drop. So right here, guys, on tip ranks, so 19 analysts have put out a rating on Snapchat, and it is across the board a hold. Okay, with a $10.97 price target. Okay, so there is price targets as high as $16 out there, and as low as $7, but the average is $10.97, and we can go right down here. Does not look like those downgrades from the 4th have made it to tip ranks just yet, but you can see very mixed bag. Okay, very mixed bag. Mostly holds, sells. You got a buy in there from Wedbush, but more holds, more sells. Morgan Stanley's always been pretty tough on Snapchat, and looks like you have 2 buy ratings from Barclays and Credit Suisse. Okay, they have $15 to $16 price targets, but the overall, and like I said, the average price target, guys, is a hold, and actually more analysts lean in the direction of a sell. So this is my personal opinion on Snapchat. Like I said, feel free to go down to the comment section, tell me what you think about it. But I don't find a heck of a lot of value in the platform. Okay, and I don't use it. I don't even have the app anymore. It has never really found its way into my daily usage. Okay, so I'm always using my brokering apps. I'm always using YouTube. I'm always I like a lot of organizations, a lot of stock market organizations and social platforms I use on Facebook. But I use Snapchat very, very little, and I find the value of this company to be very low. Okay, to me. So, do I want this stock in my portfolio? No, I do not. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you to run out and short this stock, okay? Because we have an earnings report coming in a month. And if they do see some reversal and they can get some guidance to raise up a little bit, this stock could run very, very fast, okay? But in my opinion, I don't want Snapchat in my portfolio simply because I don't use it and I don't find it to be very useful. Okay, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this video very useful. Drop me a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think about Snapchat. I'm sure I'll probably get a lot of negative comments on this. But as always, have a great day and happy investing.